Very good afternoon to you and welcome to today's edition of Joy Business Masterclass. Masterclass is powered by Joy Business and it's brought to us by Goyle. Goyle Good Energy, Goyle Yenara Yedia. Masterclass comes your way every Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. and runs all the way through to 2:15 p.m. here on your superstation Joy 99.7. My name is Yaw Barnafo and I'm glad to be your host for today's edition of Masterclass. For those of us who followed us last week, we ended our conversation with happy but mixed feelings on the 4-week conversation on psychological safety at work. We had the conversation here with Uncle James Addison, Ghana's first EQ coach. Uncle James, thank you so much for spending time with us and sharing those thoughts with us. We've had feedback that the content that you shared was invaluable, and maybe sometime later we'll be able to bring you back to continually share some additional thoughts with us. For those of us who missed the show, this was on psychological safety at work and the impact, or should I say the contribution of our Ghanaian culture to that process, because we always say that people are a function of their orientation, and therefore what you do, what you believe, what you fear, what you aspire to always comes from where you've been right up to the time you are experiencing those things. 3 things in that conversation stayed with me. If you missed that, it's also available on our Facebook page. You can go back and watch the videos. But these are the 3 things that stayed with me in that conversation. He talked about respect for authority and elders, which is a key part of our Ghanaian culture. We typically, across all the ethnicity groups, we look at respect for authority and elders. And he said that we could translate this into our workspace to create psychological safety for our colleagues, our teams, and for our individuals. We also talked about having a sense of community as a cultural people. And therefore, we can also bring that into formation of teams, a sense of team, a sense of community, a sense of camaraderie to work together. The last thing that stayed with me was emphasis on relationships. And here he talked about the fact that team members should begin to know each other beyond the work, because those things foster strength for the team. Today we continue our conversation like we always do. We bring you interesting conversations pro bono. You'd have otherwise had to pay for this. We bring you one of those conversations today. We're talking about marketing for the individual, or the contribution of marketing for the individual. Again, we have a wonderful Ghanaian of renown who always come here on the show to share some thoughts with us. Our guest for this afternoon is an accomplished professional with a rich background in marketing academia. He currently serves as administrative secretary for UTAG nationally, and he also holds the esteemed position of the head of the marketing department at the University of Professional Studies in Accra, UPSA. His CV is one of those CVs that when I grow up, I want to be like him. But my guest for this afternoon's conversation is Dr. Ibn Kailan Abdul-Hamid. Doc, I hope I've mentioned your name properly.
Yes, please. You got it right.
Wow. Impressive CV, actually. And you're welcome to Masterclass.
Thank you so
We're
much.
excited to have you. I read up on you a little before the show, sometime yesterday, and I know that our listeners will by all means be better for it by the end of this conversation. Thankfully, you're staying with us for the next 4 weeks, including today. That's correct? So today you'll be talking to us about marketing for the individual. I found that quite intriguing when I was preparing for the show, and I was wondering, what does Doc have in mind? But obviously you're here to tell us.
Yes, please.
So please go ahead and talk to us. Marketing, or the contribution of marketing to individuals.
All right. Thank you so much. And I must appreciate the opportunity to share with my colleague Ghanaians, our fellow Ghanaians, on the contribution of marketing to us all as a people.
Yeah.
But for today, the conversation is going to be on individuals. I've had colleagues mention to me, what are we discussing when we say individuals? Who are we referring to as individuals? And so we have to take some to define, or academics we say conceptualize what we mean by
all means.
individuals. So in the course of the presentation, we will go through who we are referring to as individuals.
Right.
All right. So having said this, the presentation would be on a brief introduction, an attempt to define what marketing is, because it's central to the conversation today. And then we now look at the contribution of marketing to individuals as we discussed. And then for those following on Facebook Live, the PPT is projected, and so members will see the bibliography for this presentation. So we begin with marketing, and to a number of people who are listening to us, they see marketing as a concept, Others, they see marketing as a course they may have run in school. Others, like myself, go to read marketing as a program. I did BSc marketing, MPhil marketing, PhD marketing. So I see marketing as both a concept, a course, or a program that I have read. Some others also consider marketing as a discipline because there are different disciplines in academia that we go to learn. So others read economics among others. Also, for those working in town, like Joy FM, marketing is a functional area because there's a department that is responsible for marketing Joy FM. Then to some of us, marketing is supposed to be a way of life. Okay, so I was so excited when you talked about last week's engagement and the 3 things you learned. I believe that if you understand marketing and you practice marketing, these 3 things you talked about, one of them was relationships. You would understand that marketing will guide you in terms of how to establish, build, and maintain relationships. And finally, marketing to me should be a mindset. Okay, so similar to be a way of life. Any decision you want to take, you are shaped or you are guided by marketing. Okay. Interestingly, those listening to us, I'm sure they may all assume, majority of them, that marketing is more about selling or marketing has to do with advertising. It's a global phenomenon. A lot of people who haven't studied marketing, like a few of us who are in the area, they think marketing is all about advertising or marketing is all about selling. I'm sure by the end of today, they will appreciate that marketing is beyond these two. As one of the scholars in marketing known as Kotler indicated that these two are just a tip of the iceberg. Okay. So now, what is marketing? Okay. To me, okay, I consider marketing to be a process by which an individual, okay, obtain what they need and want through freely exchanging valuable offerings with others. Okay, so an individual obtaining what he or she needs through exchange, and I'm indicating freely exchanging. Okay, so there's no influence. Freely exchanging valuable.
There's no forceful.
There's no force. It should be free. And then the last concept is valuable offering. Okay, so later we will try to break down what we mean by valuable offering to the members.
Look, let me just quickly mention to our listeners that we're streaming live on Facebook, and you have been magnanimous enough to oblige us some slides. Yes. So for those of our listeners who like to write or make notes, you can follow us on Facebook and the slides will be projected.
All right, thank you so much. So then again, I want to add some perspective to what marketing is, because most of our listeners may have just heard marketing or they don't know what it is. But I think we all know a market, Malata market. We know the Medina market. We know that, right? So in economics, when they talk about a market, it consists of buyers and sellers, right? So I want them to go back to their English lessons. In English, you can add ing to a noun. And it changes the form. Okay. Yes. So if you add ing to market, you get what? Marketing. Now, because of that ing, it means that marketing must always be seen as an action or a process or an activity.
Continuous process.
A continuous process. It's not a one-day activity. So for me, in this conversation, we need to all agree that marketing is a continuum. It's not a one-day activity. That continuum should be on buyers, on sellers, or products, or intermediaries, or institutions, or systems that we find in the market. Having described what a market or marketing generally is, we will now look at what is the importance of marketing to society generally. Marketing to us Ghanaians, the first argument we put forth is that marketing can help to develop economic growth. We all know that the economy is not too good. our argument today is that if government or if our leadership should adopt marketing ideas, marketing strategies, we can help change the story or the narrative of the country. For example, I hear a lot of people going to South Africa, for example, and I'm happy I'm here on Joy and I'm talking about it. Joy started this concept of Visit South Africa years ago. So it is not for any reason that today people go to South Africa as a destination. So what is Ghana doing? South Africa embassy or South African businesses in Ghana over the years deliberately, used Joy and other stations to shape the perceptions, make South Africa attractive to the Ghanaian audience. So yes,
I think another key example is the Year of Return.
The Year of Return.
I think
yes.
that has worked beautifully, and I'm
It's
sure
worked
when we get interactive, we'll get some input from our listeners. But
Absolutely. So yes, we can talk about the economic growth, and similar to that argument is shaping of perceptions, like we talked about the Year of Return. The fact that we've used marketing ideas to shape the perceptions about people, about Ghana, about some of our tourist sites, and actually to...
Ghana has become quite the destination. People
yes,
travel,
but for me, I think that there's still opportunity.
It could be better.
Yeah, so we could also use marketing as a society to project our cultural norms and societal values. I'm sure there's currently a conversation on the Ghana state and all that.
Right.
Yes, so we could use marketing ideas to position, shape some of these perceptions, and make these are cultural artifacts very attractive for others to come.
Look, I was going to wait until the question time. You notice I was typing away, but since you mentioned it, I will just mention it just a little. When we get to the question time, why is it that when you travel to some countries in Europe who have little or no cultural orientation compared to what we have in Ghana, they represent even the little they have on totems, insignia, keepsakes.
Absolutely.
And then when you come to Ghana, we are fixated on, and I'm not saying it's bad, our artifacts are brilliant, but people want to have a fridge sticker that says, when you go to the Volta region, one of the key staples is Akbele and fertility. Where is all of that represented? It pains my heart very much. I don't want to take your time.
I understand you perfectly. So
much.
I said that it's just because we don't understand marketing. Some few years ago, through my father in this job, Professor Robert Ebohinson, I met a professor from Denmark. That professor was a professor of vegetable marketing, and that was his area. Yes, so just to tell you, yes, we have cultural artifacts. Yes, do we have academics? Do we have professionals who have specialized in just marketing or projecting these cultural artifacts to the extent that we as Ghanaians will like it? In fact, we're in Accra. There's this Asana. How many of us take Asana these days?
Look, I don't even go that far. I'm saying I walked into a shop in Europe.
Yes.
I walked out and I spent X amount of money. On what? What were they talking about? Baseball caps.
Absolutely.
Things that represent...
Gift shops. Absolutely.
They don't have half the culture we do.
Yeah.
And the things that it represents. The Greenwich Meridian sits in Tema. When I start talking about this, I get passionate about it. But
it's the lack of marketing. Is the lack of marketing. Yeah. All that we are all talking about is the lack of marketing, which I think that... So my last argument I would have made would have been how government and public services could actually benefit from marketing. It's a shock to me that over the last 20, 30 years, we've had Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana doing quite well with its awards.
Yeah,
there is no public sector firm today that has a job title marketing.
Isn't there?
There's none. No public sector firm. As of today.
This is interesting.
And if a student should read marketing diploma or degree, then you ask public sector to appoint the person, they don't know where to put the person. At best, they put the person in PR or procurement.
Which is part of all the questions I've written. But you think that there are marketing departments, Professor Adam, University of Ghana, yourself, UPSA, and I'm sure there are marketing departments across the other universities. So when people have done marketing, where should they go?
So for me, that is why we are having this conversation on marketing, and I'm happy you indicate the whole of the month of April would be the month of marketing. For today, we are looking at individuals and what they can benefit from marketing. Hopefully, next week and the following weeks, we can now situate the arguments and look at how can our state institutions or how can our universities collaborate with these agencies to make the contribution or the role of people who go to read marketing felt.
Yeah.
Because, like we said earlier about economic growth, if these people were engaged, maybe most of the services, the bad services we receive from some of these government institutions may not be the case, because marketers are supposed to innovate. Marketers are supposed to help in packaging services. So yes, as we go on from next week, hopefully we'll come into that conversation. Then back to the slides, we're looking at the importance of marketing now to individuals. Okay, so listeners out there, what can marketing do for you? The first argument is that when you learn something about marketing, you would be informed. You'll be informed with regards to products. So in making decisions about products, marketing helps you to be an informed client, and that would influence your consumption as well as your choice of products to consume. Also, marketing helps you to have an enhanced quality of life. And finally, for those of you who would want to work in the space of marketing or in your organization, if you have some ideas in marketing, if you go to take up a course or read marketing, it provides you some employment opportunities or upgrade in your organization. So that's the general contributions or importance we talk about. Now, we will want to spend the next few minutes to break it down to who is the individual. So my conceptualization or my view about who an individual is. So those listening to us, we have two categories of people listening to us this afternoon. One, some of them are employees. Two, they are traders. So we reduce the conversation to these two people. So if you're an employee who works for another firm, what is the contribution of marketing to you? If you are a trader out there and you are selling or you are creating some services, what is the contribution of marketing to you? So we take the employee first, someone who works for another person or an institution. So yes, when you read marketing, okay, either as a hobby or as a course or for further studies, what will you get? What is the contribution? So the first point is employment opportunities. Marketing is an area where there's a lot of job opportunities out there. Whilst driving to this place, I saw a whole building as an advertising company just behind you. So then I asked myself, this whole building, and it's an advertising firm. So advertising is an aspect of marketing, and a whole lot of activities that are required in there. Today we all see a lot of people designing using in the past they use ColorDraw, but today they have other softwares that helps them to design and all that. So they are designers. That's advertising. Joy FM has a whole unit on multimedia advertising team or creatives. Okay, then we can also have research. So the job opportunities in marketing is so much. You can pick an area of your interest. Then career growth. I'm not too sure of those listening and working, let's say for example, banks. If you have marketing ideas and you bring in the deals and all that, you see that you will grow very fast. So in organization, yes, marketers grow very fast because they understand how to bring in to bring money. That's in simple terms. Then from last week's conversation, you talked about relationships. Yes, it's in marketing that we have an attitude, okay, or we develop an attitude that guides us in establishing relationships, maintaining relationships, or what you call team playing. Okay, so marketers or marketing gives you the opportunity to learn how to build and maintain relationships, which are crucial, okay, at the workplace. Okay, then also intrapreneurship, which is a concept of entrepreneurship, which means you will still be innovative, you will still be behaving like an entrepreneur, but within an organization where you are employed. When you learn marketing, you will learn product development issues. You should be able to innovate, and by that innovation, it could lead to what? Intrapreneurship. Okay, so these are some of the ideas that we want to advance for employees who work for other people, but marketing can still help them to be star employees. Now, to my people in the market, the traders, marketing, anytime we talk to them about marketing, then the question is that, is this something they go to school to learn, or they are born with it? For me, I think that, yes, naturally, some people have some instincts, certain attitudes, okay, that may allow them to easily learn or practice marketing. But marketing is taught. So when you go to school and you learn something on marketing, you will see that you understand what a product is. And a product, in the definition I gave earlier, I said valuable offerings. So you are not just offering something. You should be able to provide a product that is beneficial. So, for example, we have seen the development in our coconut business in the past, how people sold what? Coconut. We've seen a lot of changes in the area. I have seen people selling coconut with ice blocks and all that. So yeah, that's offering.
Even canning it and exporting it.
Absolutely.
We've come a long way.
Exactly. So clearly, you will see product development, and I tell you what, is the marketers or marketing as a discipline that is directing how these products are developed over time.
No doubt.
Yes. Then again, attracting customers. Okay, so you go out there, then you realize that some businesses have a lot of people coming into their shops or coming to their business arena to buy, whilst others, the whole day, no one says good morning. It simply tells you that the other person is benefiting from some marketing skills that is attracting these people to the shops. Okay. Then also, similar to attracting to the shops, is driving sales. Those in the malls, they will tell you today, it's not about people coming in. Okay, coming in, yes, a percentage might buy. Okay, so attracting people to your business area is not enough. Your ability to convert that into what? Sales is crucial, which we think that marketing then gives traders the skills to convert these visits into sales. Then it's also important that we are discussing marketing holistically. So we talk about differentiation. Okay. When I say differentiation, you can get it down to brand. A brand simply means to identify or to differentiate. So I am interested in the differentiation. So you have colleagues selling the same thing you want to sell. How do you stand out in the crowd? So it's important that traders leverage marketing skills to stand out in the crowd. Then also, how to build profitable relationships is crucial. In most of the definitions of marketing, you will realize that we emphasize on the fact that at the end of the day, the business should be what? Profitable. Okay. Then when you are profitable, we expect that you will grow. And so these are some of the contributions that we can talk about when we are considering the contribution of marketing to an individual. Yes, I will end the conversation on attitudes. Okay, so marketing provides you with certain attitudes. Yes, we hear HR officers talking about soft skills and hard skills these days. So when you learn marketing and you learn it well, at the end of the day, you would also learn certain soft skills that your colleagues may only have the what? Hard skills. So for example, in marketing, customer service is crucial. Or today we talk about customer experience. Okay. It's the marketer who knows this and knows that, look, this has a relationship with profitability of the organization. And therefore, I must ensure my customers are what? Happy, they are delighted, they are satisfied. So marketing is crucial with attitudes, and that attitude can be narrowed down to customer service. And I would pause here and based on.
Let me just. I've got a few more minutes before we get interactive.
Yes,
Let me just
please.
ask this question though. And I like the way you sort of lay the foundation. And I think one of the things that has stuck with me is that the offering of valuable products.
Yes.
Not forcefully, but in a way that is
Freely.
amicable.
Yes,
So
please.
let me ask then. I know, and this is one of those questions that is sort of hypothetical. What then becomes the product being marketed? And I know there's no one answer to it, but for our own education, if you will, what then becomes the product being marketed?
Okay, so a product is anything that is offered. Anything that is offered is a product. So, yes, whilst preparing for this, I would have told you that a human being can be a product, an idea can be a product. What we think products are, goods could be a product.
Time can be a
time
product.
can be a, so there are so many things that
Right.
are actually products today. Now, because we are having a conversation on how marketing can contribute to an individual, okay, so I would conceptualize something again to say that, okay, a number of our people are unemployed, correct?
That's correct.
Right. So after school, you're unemployed. But you rightly said you have time. So how do you package your time in order to make money from that time? At that point, it becomes a valuable what?
Resource.
Offering or resource that you can exchange
Yeah.
for money. So yes, marketing can actually help a lot of our peers out there who are unemployed because they have time. All that they have to do is to repackage the time they have and then see who is looking for that time for other purposes and then sell off that time in order to make money.
Essentially, where supply meets demand.
Absolutely.
If you've just tuned in, this is Masterclass here on your superstation Joy 99.7. We're here in the studio with Dr. Ibn Kailan Abdul-Hamid, and he's talking to us about the contribution of marketing to individuals. We want you to be a part of that conversation. We'll take a quick message from our sponsors. When we come back, we get interactive.
Your favorite on-air business development program, Joy Business Masterclass, is in session, and you can interact with us on Facebook via the Joy 99.7 FM or Joy Business pages. If you tweet, the handle is at Joy 997 FM or at Joy Business GH. Don't forget to hashtag JB Masterclass. You can also call us on 0302 216541 or send your questions and contributions through to the WhatsApp number 0551 111997, and our facilitators will address your concerns. Attention everyone, class is in progress.
Welcome back. If you've just tuned in, this is Masterclass. We're interactive right now. Phone lines are open. Numbers to call 0302 216 541. That's 0302 216 541. You're also free to send us your comments on 055 111 997. That's 055 997. If you're driving, please do not text while you drive. We want you to arrive alive. But otherwise, pick up that phone, give us a call 0302 216 541. Today's edition of Masterclass is brought to us by Goyle. Goyle Good Energy, Goyle Yenara Igedia. If you drive a motor vehicle of any kind, then Goyle has some wonderful news for you. Goyle PLC, your CIMG Hall of Fame and 2022 Petroleum Company of the Year, has taken the lead again. Goyle has opened ultra-modern liquefied petroleum auto gas service stations all across the nation. The modern auto gas service is safe, it is clean, and it offers affordable alternative fuel for your vehicle. So look out for the Goyle Auto Station in the following areas: Bema Camp Service Station, Accra; Peshi Goyle Service Station, Accra; Pedu Junction Goyle Service Station, Cape Coast; Mpintin Goyle Service Station, Takrady; Kentin-Krono Goyle Service Station, Kumasi. Goyle, delivering the safest and affordable gas at your convenience. Goyle Good Energy, Goyle Yenara. Yeah, their phone lines are open. Numbers to call 0302 216 541 or send us your comments on 055 We want to hear your thoughts. What is your understanding of the conversation that's going on where marketing is concerned? Are you an employee? Are you a business owner? What has your specific experience been? Let's share our thoughts. We can't all make the same mistakes. One lifetime is too short for us all to make the same mistakes. So we learn from each other's mistakes. Look, while we're waiting for the phone lines to ring, though, I have a few questions of my own. You talked about advertising. You talked about research. You talked about some kind of, let's say, application to product development and all of that. Just for basic understanding, for business owners who may not have had the privilege, what would you say, just briefly, are the key tenets or pillars of marketing?
Okay. Right. So you need to have a product. Right. So if you go to school, at every level, we talk about the 4 Ps. And so anyone who has done marketing knows about the 4 Ps. Right. So it's the product, the price, the place, and the promotion. Now, indeed, we are limiting ourselves to that small business owner. So let's maintain the 4.
Indeed.
Now, every business person or trader needs a product. And that is what I gave in my definition as a valuable offering. Now, water. If everybody sells water and you want to go into the business of water, then how can you make your water valuable? How can you make the water valuable? That's your product. How can you ensure that it is dependable? People can trust. You can stand out in the crowd of people selling water. In fact, it could just be cleaning your area. For those who sell water in the gallons, making your area very neat and decent. So that's with the product, ensuring that you have a valuable product. If it's sachet water you want to sell, ensure that you appear nicely, your containers are nice, everything. Packaging.
Look, I saw something a day before yesterday, which concept I'm sure has probably been replicated somewhere in this country, but has been long in coming. I saw a laundromat in Accra. And I thought that was so brilliant.
Absolutely.
We've seen all this everywhere, but now how work has become and life in itself generally lends itself to some of these services becoming necessary.
Correct.
And they call it rapid wash or quick wash or something.
Yeah.
And of course, we know how it works. But I'm just saying, I'm leading that to the question I'm going to ask. And I'm saying, to be a good marketer, must one necessarily understand human behavior and how the consumer has evolved and how the consumer thinks? As you sit here now, Doc, when you are hungry and you are looking for the best gari and beans to eat, what is the first thing you will do? Must the person offering it understand your philosophy, your thinking, your behavior in order to be a good marketer?
Okay, so when we come to strategy in marketing, we say that STP is the foundation, where STP refers to segmentation, targeting, and positioning. Now, the seller, in the trader, must segment the market. You cannot be nice, you cannot be bought by everybody.
You cannot be all things to all men.
Oh, man. Okay. So, yes, immediately you start selling the gobe, as we call it. You should know which caliber of people you intend to sell the gobe to. And so, based on that, you know what goes into the production of your gobe and how it is served. And then the area you want to sell it at. I'm sure if there's a gobe seller opposite Joy, the price will be different from if there's a gobe seller in the corner somewhere.
You're talking about Joy. These days they are packaging it in a way that
you even know
when
it's
you see the package, you're like, I like the package. It's not even the food, but I will spend on it.
Absolutely. So yes, products are very important. We need to find a way to develop, innovate around it. Right. But let me be quick to say that, yes, marketing is a lot of money. It needs a lot of investment. But if you don't have, you start with the basis. So you talked about human behavior. Everybody wants something that looks nice and attractive. So yes, you can keep your environment decent and nice. You can become nice to people, how you relate to people. We talked about relationships last week, your relationship, how you deal with people. In fact, feedback is important. So when they come to buy, how do you want it? Was it okay? Can I do that? Your interaction.
How do we make it better next time?
Make it better next time. So this kind of relations would help direct and improve on your business.
Doc, let me give an analogy. And just to tell our listeners again that we're interactive right now. Phone lines are open. So numbers to call are 0302216541. That's 0302216541. Or you can also send us your comment on 05511119997. I'm sure that you've noticed this, that we're doing quite a bit of work with Ghana football, and we're all excited about soccer, and we support the Black Stars, and then, the Black Queens, the Black Maidens. We're excited about all of them. And in everything you do, you learn from who has done it better than you have.
Yeah.
So we say that we still have quite a long way to go. Kudos to our people at the Ghana Football Authority. They're doing a good job.
GFA.
But isn't it ironic that sometimes when you watch the Ghana football games between, let's say, Brekum Chelsea and, let's say, Hazakes or any of the teams, sometimes the coaches are wearing EPL T-shirts. It amazes me. What have they done so well that in the corner of the world somewhere, where they may not even have an office, people would die for the brand?
Absolutely.
In Nigeria, something happened. There was a game between Arsenal and some team, and Arsenal was beaten, and the guy was in the wrong club or wrong pub, so he got beaten up real bad.
Absolutely, yeah.
And he kept saying, "I'm a Ghana for life. I'm a Ghana for life," with the blado. So Arsenal sees it and flies him to Arsenal, takes him to the locker room, creates a jersey with his name on it. That guy won't support any other team. What are they doing that we can learn from? Just as an example.
Okay, so I indicated it's an investment to do marketing. For the conversation today, the individuals or the small business owners, they may not be able to do these kind of investments. But let's look at the bigger clubs we have in the country. Now it's about emotions, how to lock people's emotions with the organization. Earlier on, I talked about differentiation, and I said it was linked to brand. So when you are building a brand, you can actually build that emotions, the connection. People should begin to see that the brands has what we call personalities. So there should be a relationship between you as a person, what you stand for, what you believe in, and what the brand actually also stands for. So if you take, we have Kotoko and Hearts, right?
Great Olympics.
Great Olympics, okay. The question remains, what do they stand for? So it's not been projected well. If you don't belong, if you're not an inner circle person of these clubs, you might not be able to relate to these clubs.
A time was when people would die for these clubs. You know what I mean?
Yes, so those generation. Okay, so there's also another concept of generational changes. Okay, so yes, people who were born in a particular era,
right,
they grew up knowing these teams and they associate with these teams. Now, the generation we have now, they are born into a global economy. So the teams can no longer assume the competition is local. No. A child is born today and already knows how to play with the phone. And what do they find on the phone? Absolutely.
They don't know.
They don't know. They don't know that. So it means that our teams in the local economy needs to do something more to be known.
We are not showing ourselves enough on the world stage.
Absolutely.
Brings me back to the Africa Continental Free Trade Area and the opportunities that it presents for Ghana as an economy and the brands we have here. Just your thoughts on those briefly. What can we do to take full advantage of it?
Yes. So just to quote my dad recently, he gave an analogy. So because of after you got a contract, say in Nigeria, to produce shoes, okay, for the Nigerian market, but your employees and their attitude could affect the contract you got, because in Ghana we sometimes we attend so many social events you have deadlines you have to meet to deliver, but you say you have this social event, let me go and come, and it affects productivity. Prioritization. So I think that for us as a country to benefit from after, first of all, we need to encourage our local businesses to open up, to build capacity, to learn about what the foreign countries or our colleagues in Nigeria, what do they really want. Then we inform what we develop. I think Casapreco did quite well when they went to the Nigerian market. So how many of our companies would actually leave Ghana and survive? You need to go to the foreign countries or our colleagues from Africa, learn about them, come develop products and go. In fact, there are a lot of countries we are better off because of our level of development. But we don't go out, we don't invest there, we don't do market surveys to inform product development. And I'm sure if we do these, we should be able to enhance our competitiveness, and we will bring some foreign exchange to our
country.
Yes,
I think I have enough time for only one question. I still have enough time to take one phone call. 0302216 541. You can also send us your comments on 05511119997. Do you suppose or reckon that marketing today has become scientific as an approach? I ask this question because reading a few journals, I find out that fast food companies are using the psychology of smell. When I talk about certain food fried rice brand in Ghana, you can smell it even if it's not in your. Okay, I've got a comment on social media. This one says, "Good afternoon, Yaw. This is Dada Boat. I'm listening and enjoying the show from Kwewu Obo. I'm a young retiree. Am I too old to learn to practice marketing?" Dada Boat, thank you for listening to us all the way from Kwewu Obo. He wants to know whether he's too old to learn.
No, he's not too old.
I didn't think so.
No, he's not too old. So because of his question, I would say that God is a marketer. Yes. God, if you look at all his creatures, you will see God practice marketing and all. So yes, you are not too old to practice marketing. I'm sure next week we'll have the opportunity to talk about
a bit more time.
Who should practice marketing.
So again, back to this thing. People are using the psychology of smell, psychology of temperature, psychology of taste. I mean, there are shops you walk into where you come out of the sun, cool music, very slow at that time of day. They've done something to the smell, so it feels good. It causes the release of dopamine and all the happy hormones. You walk out of that shop and you bought something. And say, this thing, what am I using it for? But you bought it.
In fact, you just reminded me about what I told a group of people who left my office before I came in here. We need investment. In fact, marketing has moved beyond what we call the traditional marketing. Today, there's sensory marketing. And that's essentially what you are discussing. Okay, so in fact, when I arrived at Joy, what are the key things that will make me know that I'm in Joy? If someone had blindfolded me and got me into Joy, and I sit on your car, what are some of these things that the other sensory part of my body can relate to? So yes, like you mentioned, as we move on, a number of businesses has gone into the area that we call psychology or sociology, and they've been able to come out with certain ways that makes them stand out. And you see, before I became the HOD, I was the program manager for the Master of Arts in Brands and Communications Management, and I tell students that branding is not just logo, it's not just a name, it's not. So branding is actually what you're saying. It's difficult. I know Coca-Cola some years ago did blind testing where they poured the Coke in some. So it's because they believed in their brands. So yes, we can look at those aspects of marketing and how businesses can use it to stand out.
Doc, what's the one thing we should take out from today's conversation, and what should we look forward to next week?
Yeah, so for today, as we leave, we want to encourage everybody to look out for marketing. Marketing to us is the way to go, because with the marketing mindset, we would be able to change our individual spaces, which would have an effect on the economy as a country. Then also, I would want to draw the attention of public government and public institutions, because for private sector firms, they understand. Some of them even have chief marketing officers. For public sector firms, they should begin to bring in marketing ideas, recruit people with marketing thought into their organizations to help shape. Then to our friends who may not be employed and want something to be done, we talked about valuable exchanges. They should look around themselves. What can they exchange? In fact, if they don't have anything to exchange, they've got time. Let them exchange the time. I know a number of people growing up, they were teachers, part-time teachers. So if you're educated and you can't do anything, you can exchange your time for 1 hour part-time teaching somewhere, or do something that will bring an economic to your family and yourself.
Thank you so much. Dr. Ibn Kailan Abdul-Hamid has been my guest today on Masterclass, talking to us about the contribution of marketing to individuals. Today's edition of Masterclass was brought to us by Goyle. Goyle Good Energy, Goyle Yenara Yedia. God willing, next week we come your way with yet another exciting edition. Thank you for staying with us. We'll see you same time next week.